Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this Monday morning with business coach Moloy. And we are on episode 12 of scaling and scaling and we have spoken about multiple topics multiple themes that an entrepreneur goes through when he is in that scaling mode and all the challenges that he comes up. But today and next Monday, I'm going to talk about something very, very critical, and that is that founder dependency trap. Uh, so before I begin today, I want to ask you something very unusual. For the next few minutes, I don't want you to think about your business. I want you to think about yourself. Because today isn't about marketing, sales, or strategy. It's about the relationship between you and your business. If tomorrow morning you decided not to go to office, not because you're unwell, but just because you wanted a day to think, would your business run normally? Would customers still get the same service? Will production still continue? Will collections still happen? Will sales still close? Or in a couple of hours from now, your phone will start ringing from various people, various stakeholders, internal and external, asking for solutions. Today, there's no judgment. We are not sitting on that high horse getting into a judgment. I'm only trying to bring in awareness, something that I have been personally working on for the past few months. And I ask this in almost every coaching assignment, and the answers are remarkably similar. My customers need me. My finance head won't release payment without me. By the end of the day, most entrepreneurs almost sound proud, as if being indispensable was their biggest achievement of life. I met a manufacturing entrepreneur, 40 crore revenue, respected brand, who wanted to double the business. He spoke for 3 hours about export, automation, expansion. And I asked one question: how many decisions did you personally make yesterday? We started listing pricing, recruitment, production scheduling, supplier negotiations, purchase approvals, leave applications. By the time we finished, we had crossed 90. And I told him, you don't have a business that's ready to double. You have a business perfectly designed to keep you busy. Growth wasn't being limited by the market. It was limited by one person's capacity to process 90 decisions in a day. In our early years, founder dependence isn't the problem, it's necessary. Who else is going to sell? Who else is going to convince customer? Who else is going to solve problem? The founder does everything, and that's how businesses are born. But the habits that create a business aren't always the habits that scale it. The very behavior that made you successful in 1 year may quietly become the reason you struggle in year 10. Think about raising a child. At 3, you hold their hand, crossing the road, try the shoelaces, decide everything for them. Good parenting. Can you do the same thing at 23? There's a stage when the founder holds everything together, and there's another stage when the founder has to slowly let go. Not because they become less important, but because the organization has to become stronger. How many times this week have you said, it will be quicker if I do it myself? But every time you're solving today's problem while strengthening tomorrow's dependency. It doesn't happen overnight, ladies and gentlemen. It grows quietly until one day you realize, I can't take a holiday, I can't switch off, I can't step back. I'm sorry, this somebody who's disturbing me quite a bit, but that's okay. I worked with a promoter in Western India, respected, approachable, fair. Yet every morning a queue formed outside his cabin, sales, finance, production, HR. And I asked him, how many of these people come to update you and how many come for permission? We observed together for 1 hour. Almost every conversation ended the same way. Okay, sir, we will do whatever you say. They respect me, they do, I said, but they are also learning something every day, that the safest decision is your decision. Respect had quietly become dependence. And here's a deeper pattern. Founder dependency doesn't usually begin with control. It begins with good intentions. We don't want customers disappointed or the team to struggle, so we step in once, twice, 100 times. Eventually, people stop trying to solve problems before bringing them to us, not because they lack ability, because experience has taught them that the founder will solve it faster. Many founders believe that they're delegating when they're actually assigning work. You tell your salesperson, negotiate this order, sounds like delegation until the customer asks for a price change and the manager calls you back immediately. Extended credit, he calls you. Faster delivery, he calls you. The work was delegated, the decision making wasn't. And without authority, responsibility becomes stressful and delegation becomes a theater. The organization looks empowered, but everyone knows where the real decision still happens. And this eventually happens in succession. I've seen founders tell their children for 20 years, one day this will be yours. While every significant decision stays with them, leadership doesn't appear on the day one of succession. It's built for years before it. And same is true about your senior managers. If they never own anything today, they wouldn't suddenly own everything tomorrow. Delegation, ladies and gentlemen, is the curtain and not the foundation. People often tell me, Maloy, I need to delegate more. I don't think that's the real issue. Delegation is an outcome, not the starting point. You don't start building a house by choosing curtains. First, the architecture, the structure, the plumbing. Delegation comes much later. The real work is designing an organization that doesn't need the founder for every decision. When I start a new client, I don't ask for their turnover. I ask what happens in your business when you're not there. I have seen 5 crore businesses run beautifully for 2 weeks without the promoter, and a 150 crore business where the founder can't switch off the phone for 2 hours. Revenue does not deplete or reduce the founder dependency, leadership does. Imagine carrying a suitcase. Someone keeps adding bags until you say this is too heavy. The solution isn't becoming physically stronger, it's distributing the weight, and that's what scaling is. Not teaching the founder to carry more, but teaching the organization to carry the business together. I met an entrepreneur planning to expand into another state, market identified, capital ready, demand there. I asked, if you open a new branch tomorrow, who runs this one? I will. So I said, no, you will be at the new branch, so who runs this one? He laughed. That's the problem, isn't it? Opportunity doesn't create readiness to scale. A self-managing existing business does. So what do you need to do? Because every founder passes through 4 stages. Doing, you do everything because the business needs it. Directing, you build a team, allocate work, and supervise. Developing, you focus shifts to completing work to growing people. More coaching than correcting, more questions than answers. And finally, the stage comes in where your institutions are born, and this is the stage of designing. You design culture, you design leadership, you design governance, you design succession, ensuring that the organization gets stronger every day, whether you are present or not. I once met a founder returning from his first real holiday in 22 years. I asked, what changed? Not the network, not the hotel. My people finally stopped needing me for everything. And I realized they had become more capable than I'd allowed myself to believe. The team hadn't changed overnight, his belief had. Sometimes the final barrier isn't the team's capability, it's the founder's confidence. So here's a 30-day challenge that I'm going to leave for you. For the next 30 days, keep a notebook. Every time someone brings a decision, write it down. No judgment, just record it. Every week, review the list. Ask 3 questions against every entry. Did this truly require me? Who should eventually own it? And what must I build so that they can confidently own it next time? By day 30, you won't just have a list. You will have a roadmap for reducing founder dependency. And your business will show you exactly where it needs to grow. Ladies and gentlemen, as we close today, I need 4 things for you. 1, founder dependency isn't a sign of commitment. It's a stage where entrepreneurial business passes through. The question isn't whether you are in it, it's whether you are moving beyond it. Number 2, the founder should always remain important, never indispensable. These are absolutely different things. Number 3, every decision you keep teaches dependency. Every decision you thoughtfully develop in someone else teaches leadership. Choose carefully. Choose your battles. And number 4, the greatest gift you will give your business isn't your hard work. It's an organization that carries value standards even when you're not in the room. And that's how businesses have become institutions. And that's how 75% of the businesses shut down every year. And that's why most businesses don't scale up. Because they're not building institutions, they're building businesses only. At Beyond Red Ocean Consulting, we are on our mission, if I can call, to work with entrepreneurs into reducing this founder dependency. Because we owe it to ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. You as entrepreneurs, you owe it to yourself. Sweat, blood, tear, money has gone into whatever you're doing. You can't have a business that is dependent on you. Because if you have a business that's completely dependent on you, then it's time to shut down. Time to draw the curtains and say, this is never going to scale up. But that's not the objective. The objective is to have businesses which live in perpetuity. So we'll get more practical next week. Because we want to do it for you. We are doing it ourselves. But there are different pathways to reducing founder dependency, because a 5 crore business and a 50 crore business doesn't need the same solution. And neither do a first generation founder and a second generation leader. So we have 3 distinct solutions and 3 distinct pathways. For entrepreneurs who are at not even at a crore, or maybe to a 5 to 25 crore and 100 crore and above. 3 different pathways. And I'm going to share with you the 3 pathways next week for you to select whichever one is the right fit for you. One thing is sure, founder dependency has to stop. The opportunities out there are much, much bigger than we trying to hold on to what we have. Founder dependency is only going to pull us down. So that needs to stop. That needs to stop today. Obviously, it's not a binary, but you have to start working on it today. If the business is going to completely depend only on you, there's no point doing that business, ladies and gentlemen. Draw the curtains, go home, and have a peaceful life. Or go out and say, what else can I do? But I believe that all businesses can come out of this founder dependency. And the pathways are there, and we'll share with you next Monday, same place, same time. So log in on time, 9:30 sharp, 9:30 to 9:45. Block your calendars, because we will unveil the 3 pathways. Thank you so much for spending this Monday morning with me. Till next Monday, take care and God bless.